Welcome to Win, Lose, or Draw. That's going to be this channel. It's going to be more of a vlog. I'm going to bring you along a little bit more on some things that I do. This is my wife, Laura.
Hello.
And we are down here on our 1988 Chris Craft 262. And we're gonna talk about our experience with this boat and our last year that we've had with it. And on this channel, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk about some other stuff. I have another channel you might know me from, The Reptile Room. My name is Joe from there, and you can go watch that channel. And if you're from there, thank you for subscribing to this channel, and vice versa. Go check out the other channels. It's great. We have some reptiles, we've got dogs, we have 3 vehicles, we only have 2 people. So I'll show you some of those. I've already shown you some. And you know, it's just somewhere else that I can make some videos and show you guys some interesting stuff. Our lives are maybe not like most people's.
Not at all.
No. So, if that's what you're here for, well, so our boat, this boat, I have been into boats for a long time, been coming down to this particular lake for my entire life. And in the background, you'll see some motion and some houseboats and some movement. You might hear some fish jump, and that's kind of why we like it down here. Well, I've done 2 other boat restorations. One on a smaller little 14-foot boat that was terrifyingly fast for its size, and you maybe we'll go take a peek at that, show a little clip in that. And then I also worked on and did the interior on my parents' 22-foot open bow boat and made it look real nice and updated it a whole bunch, and it looks really nice. So then last year, you know, all the pandemic and everything happening, we were just looking for a place to go, and we like the lake a lot, so I've always wanted a bigger boat. And then I finally convinced her to ride off on this boat, and we came across this one. And it was pretty much just like, let's go check it out. The price was pretty close to right. And it was on a trailer, and it's a tri-axle trailer, which many of you know if you're into boating and whatnot, and trailers. Like, that's a heavy-duty trailer, so it was nice to come with something heavy that we can also use for maybe upgrading down the road if that was even a thing. So we showed up in the middle of Ohio to find this boat, and walked around it, and the size of it's great. So it's a 262, which means that it's 26 feet according to Chris Craft. Well, no, with the swim deck on this boat, it's about 30 feet long overall. So I don't know why they don't include the swim platforms and whatnot, but it's where the transom ends. So whatever, 26-foot boat. It's actually really wide. It's an extra foot wide. It's 9.5 feet wide, and I really like that. It is a single engine. We have a Volvo Penta, and it's a 5.7 liter. We have a carburetor on it that is a 650 CFM. Geez, I did the rebuild. I should remember it. Can't remember off the top of my head. We'll get down there later. And we have the Volvo Penta DP, the dual prop, which is a really cool outdrive to have. You get a lot more bottom end grunt to get up and out of the way. You have 2 propellers that spin on it and give you a little bit more traction, if you will, on the water. So we bought this boat, and my Tacoma was not going to pull this thing. So we rented a truck. I rented an F-350 and drove it all the way down here. I think I put 680 miles on that rental. And man, that was a fun drive, dragging this thing down here, no problem, get it down on the water. Everything's great, fish jumping. And me, my buddy, and my dad, we all hop on it. We go for a rip, we go cruising, boat opens up, hauling the mail. This boat should not go that fast, right? I mean, it's cool, it's designed for it. So, I don't know, we were cruising right around 2,800, 3,000 RPMs, doing almost 30 miles an hour, which I think is pretty impressive for almost 7,500 to 8,000 pounds when you get water and people and fuel and your stuff on here. So it's a pretty big, heavy boat for that sort of a rip. So then we get back and I get it all docked and we get down here and we go up. We go for a nice little rip and then, we couldn't turn anymore in one direction. That was really interesting. That was way up the way. We noticed an issue, so we turned around and actually got it back. Had kind of a crappy time docking. So that was like weird. Something has happened. And then we moved to our current dock location, which is freaking perfect. We're basically in shade almost all day. And we have the roof and we have this enclosure and the boat's really nice and we'll do some more detailed walkarounds later, but we go to move to this place and we're just idling along, just cruising, minding our own business, coming right behind us right here, actually. Those rocks on the other side we got really familiar with was very entertaining. Right across from my parents' houseboat where they got to watch this happen. So cruising along, boat does one of these numbers and then all of a sudden we go left and the boat stalls out and we just go drifting dead in the water. It doesn't want to start again, no steering, and so we just scramble mode, right? You're getting rope and I was up on the front keeping us off a rock, and luckily some awesome fishermen were coming cruising by and we got a rope out to them and they pulled us over to the dock and we stayed there, and then we got towed over to our current space. Then we thought, oh, it's gonna be fine, right? So we went to take it out again, right? Yeah, totally. And then discovered that the whole steering yoke had broken, which was super cool. So we've had the boat, and this is the time we're supposed to be cruising and figuring out everything. So that was what? That was in the spring.
Yeah.
Early spring of this year. And then I decided to pull the boat out and get the whole outdrive off and replace the broken steering yoke and do the bellows and the other rubbers that were down there that needed to be replaced while the outdrive is off. So I did some digging and ended up doing it, and I have a couple of pictures that I'm going to pop up right here and show you stuff. I didn't get it recorded or anything, but we've pulled the outdrive off, and it was actually pretty straightforward. It's a pretty simple process. I would kind of maybe recommend it. Getting it back in was definitely a challenge. Getting the shaft to align and go back in was a bit of a challenge, but got it all back together, back in the water, and go cruise. Steering's good, sensors working, things are awesome. So we go out, we go cruise, it comes back, and awesome. We get back in the dock. So we go to leave, we leave the next time, we go out, we go to come back, and we had 2 successful out and backs. Yeah, so we left twice, because we needed 3 in order to name this boat because of how I want it to be. If it isn't going to leave the dock, it doesn't need a name. Yeah. So we go out on the 3rd one, and as we're coming back in here, right in front of our docks, like, the steering is not great. And then it goes snap and just free spinning. Here's the party trick. Woo! So we kill the engine. We're right here. Kind of panic for a second, but we're like right by the dock. She's fully clothed. Fully clothed. Grabs a rope, jumps in. We back it in. Tore our antenna off. Like, whatever. Who cares? So that's kind of what's happened. So we've broken the steering 3 times. I've fixed it, and then it broke, and then we fixed it, and then it broke. So I'm gonna replace it and change the whole steering to hydraulic. So we're just gonna do a single hydraulic hose and replace the helm and everything. And now it's got a cool party trick where it just free wheels on there, on the hub. So we really like boats. Mm-hmm. We would really like to go boating. But man, what do you think of it?
I think it likes to try to give us a little bit of problems when I'm down here.
Yeah. And that was also another reason why we got into a larger boat that has a cabin, because we have a whole kitchen and a bathroom, and we've got sleeping areas, and we actually have 2 dogs on the boat right now, and we're gonna have at least 4 here sometime soon in the future. So that'll be interesting. Mm-hmm. See how that works out. We want to do some renovations on this boat to kind of fit our needs a little bit more. But the steering thing has really been a frustrating point because we really wanted to enjoy it this year. So this is basically a 1-year anniversary of us owning this boat.
Yeah.
And we have not yet spent a single night away from the dock.
No.
But we've spent nights on the dock, which is fine. The dock here is very nice. Water, electric, we've got internet, use our phones, whatever. We might even be able to do some live streaming from here, at some point. If you guys just wanted to watch the stars without any city lights, you just let me know. We'll do a live stream of crazy stars out here. Yeah, I mean, we got the boat because we like to camp and go explore and stuff, and this is a cooler way to go explore. We like seeing different things. We enjoy fishing. This lets us bring our dogs more. And tent camping got to be a little bit more frustrating, and if you go check out my video on the reptile room, you can see we've done a camping trip. You see our setup, and that was packed all into the Tacoma, mm-hmm. which we have outgrown, and we're mostly... that's just how it works. You outgrow things as you move on. So now we're on to the F-250, yeah. Which does great. We've done a lot of work. Holy crap. Hold on. There's an otter over here. He just went down. I don't know if he'll come back up. I hope I got it quick enough. But there are otters down here. That's why we like it. We can go fishing. We can go mess around. We see a lot of turtles down here. I think there's Bubbles right here. That's where he's going to come up. See those bubbles? That's totally him.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, he just got a fish too.
Oh, dang. He's a better fisherman than us.
Yum, 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 yum.
Bloop. All right, we're gonna leave him be and come back to us. Bang. So we've got an otter chilling out here. We have big red-eared slider, or yellow slider, okay. Yellow belly slider, whatever the heck it is, that cruises along down here. That is super cool. Check my shot one more time. Yeah, I think that's fine. You might have a little more overhead. So that's why we like it down here, and we really want to leave the freaking dock so that we can get out into more nature. We want to back out. We want to back into a cove, more like yachts. We want to play around like we have a yacht, even though this is just like, this could be a tender for a real yacht. But we have a full camper enclosure. We have... essentially a whole nother room out here. There's huge deck space out here. I can stand up fully, hide it in here, same inside. The way classic Chris Craft was built is just overbuilt, and that's kind of what sold us on it. Really liked the whole thing. And then, loving the Chris Craft name. It's, wider, it's longer, and there's only 2 other Chris Crafts on this dock. the entire dock, which is one of the largest docks here in the state that we're in. We might tell you where we are later on if you don't figure it out, but it's just really nice to be down here. So hopefully one of the upgrades we want to do on this boat is
Making the area a little bit bigger so that we can fit all of our lovely dogs on it.
yeah, we're going to free up a little bit of space. We'll probably change the way the helm seat is so that we can have one of those swing backs so that we can push it back and then we can sit up higher and eliminate the chair we're currently on. It'll free up roughly 8 square feet. Doesn't sound like a lot, but on a boat, that's a ton. And some of the other people down here are they're just super cool, super helpful, willing to come help us every time we've struggled to get in here. And we've struggled to get in this slip
Every time.
every single time. Steering, big deal on boats. Fun fact, steering, most necessary item. The engine runs great, outdrive operates flawlessly, hydraulics, perfect, doesn't steer, can't even leave,
Nope.
doesn't matter. So I've done a bunch of work. I rebuilt the carburetor, cleaned out all the filters, checked the oil. It was fine. I really need to pump it out. That's the problem with boats. You kind of got to suck the oil out, which I don't like. Ultimately, one of the cooler upgrades we want to do to the boat is go to electric, because we don't necessarily care about speed. We just want to take this out there. We're not going to ski behind this boat. We might throw a tube behind there and just kind of cruise along. But honestly, when we were underway and we're at idle, basically we're going 5 miles an hour, at idle, just kicked into gear. This thing's great. Cruising at a nice speed for us, 8 to 10 miles an hour, 12 is pretty cool. And I'm pretty confident that we can do that with a reasonable electric motor. I've been doing some research into that, and this lake is actually part of the TVA. Dang, now I've kind of narrowed us down to where we might be. But it's part of the TVA, and everything here is hydroelectric dams. So all of the electric generation in the area is controlled with these reservoirs to raise and lower the water and to produce power for everybody in the area. So if we're able to convert this to some sort of sustainable sort of power plant, electric is pretty straightforward. We can throw solar on it. We can add, we can do some more stuff, put a bigger power inverter on it and run some other 110 stuff that we have, like our AC unit and this other, that's 12 volt fridge. Never mind. That's right. The iceless cooler, which is fantastic. That thing's great. What else do you want to add to this thing? Like, this boat story is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kept us on our toes. Very, very much so.
It's nice and clean. It's nice and roomy.
Yeah, and it's great. It's dry. Better than camping on ground and in a tent, because every time we seem to come down here, typically it's raining. And when you're laying on the ground, it's a little wet.
Totally. Yep. She said, I'm tired of tent camping. I said, well, how about we buy a boat? So we bought a boat, and then we pay a bunch of money to sit in a slip right now because it doesn't steer. So that's where we are, and that's why it got a little frustrating for this whole summer. I've always mentioned to her and to some friends of mine that I was going to make some boat content, and maybe I did post something about it on the Reptile Room, but man, it did get real frustrating for a while. We didn't even come back for a while. We were just kind of done with it. We wanted to walk away for about a month or 60 days, 2 months. Yeah, I think we were like prime middle of the season, Can't leave the dock, don't really want to swim around here. Makes it hard. So yeah, we'll probably show you around while we're talking about this, and you'll see that we've done some pretty nice maintenance to it. It's a nice roomy boat. There are some other things that we'd like to do. Maybe change the headliner. Thinking maybe doing like a wood paneling sort of an application, maybe, to make it look like one of the wooden Chris Crafts, which is what they're known for. And get some mahogany to match some classic Chris Crafts, which we've seen on this lake,
Yeah.
that are huge and beautiful boats. 1950s, 1960s cruisers, wooden, awesome boats. I love the classics. The new boats are amazing too. But man, I think converting something classic to an electric would be really cool. But really, if we can just get the thing to steer, and I'll show you what has happened when I open this whole engine compartment up, because I need to pull some measurements so I can get some parts ordered, and then that's when I'll probably come back down here with you guys and do an update. So hopefully you guys enjoy this content. We'll see how this goes. Maybe a little bit long and rambly this time, but we'll get into some more detail and some projects. Have a couple more episodes that I'm gonna kind of pump out. This is gonna maybe be a multi-time a week posting on the channel. So subscribe, like the video, comment stuff down in the bottom, down below, whatever you want to see on here. Also go check out the other channel, The Reptile Room. You know, that'll be on here every once in a while, but really it'll just kind of be in the background. It's not going to be the prime focus, but that's going to be pretty much it for this time. And so yeah, we'll hope to see you on the next one.
See you later.
See you later.
Leave me alone. I don't want to cut that out.
All right, so we were in the middle of working on the boat. We just finished talking about, you know, everything, and I had a whole lot more to show you. And as you can see, we're back in the truck. Well, I got, you know, some information, people checking out in the house and everything. I guess our basement has flooded. So now, instead of sticking around cleaning up the boat and showing you guys that, I am going to be wrapping up this video, and that is going to be the end for Win, Lose, or Draw. Episode 1 definitely seems like it's a loss. So I lose this one, and now we're going to do about a 5 hours, probably 6 hours when it's all said and done, drive back up to our house to go figure out what is going on with the basement. And guess I'm going to bring you along on that too. So that's going to do it for this episode. Please subscribe. You're gonna see exactly what it's like. You know, this is how it works with me. Things seem to ebb and flow, and it seems like when things are going bad, man, it just piles up. All right, we'll see you on the next one.